Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classics slash Non-Classics. This is episode 1001. Yes, past episode 1000. Yeah, now beginning the countdown to episode 2000. I have no idea if this will take me 6 years to get to that particular thing, but who knows. Let's just basically move on ahead. Two Marvel trades, both got from Comic Con, and both coming out the very same year. First up it is Ant-Man, Second Chance Man, which collects Ant-Man Volume 2, issues 1 through 5. Why do I say Volume 2? Because, believe it or not, there was going to be another Ant-Man series featuring Hank Pym. Yeah, it was going to be a 4-issue limited series, but it was never released. I've seen pictures of the thing, like what the covers were. I'm not sure what the series was canceled for. Yeah, I don't know why. This series is written by Nick Spencer, artwork by Roman Resnos. Now, the thing with this series is this. It was released in 2015. Now, the thing is, people are familiar with the Astonishing Ant-Man series, which came right after this thing. And it lasted longer. Why did this only last for 5 issues? There was a reason for that, and it's an absolute stupid reason. Secret Wars! Yes, this is one of the many titles that got basically had to be relaunched after releasing 5 issues thanks to Secret Wars. It's one of the more shorter books, along with books like Howard the Duck. Let's see, there was a few others. I know Silk basically had 7 issues before it got relaunched. Yeah, there was also Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. That also had 5. I think I had 80 issues, but yeah, I didn't really care for the whole thing of having these books just end in a short period of time. Now, when this book came out 4 years ago, there was a lot of comparisons to that of Hawkeye by Matt Fraction, and another book, the writer book Nick Spencer wrote, Superior Force Spider-Man. Very similar feel to both of them, and I appreciate that Marvel gave a chance to Scott Lang to have an ongoing series, because just by sheer coincidence, the very same year that this comic came out, we had the release of the very first Ant movie with Paul Rudd. Now, the story for this one is this. Scott Lang, who basically is in dispute with his ex-wife over his daughter Cassie, this, of course, comes right after the events of Access, where Cassie got resurrected. And, of course, well, he needs a job. So, he goes to Stark Industries. He actually does get the job, but he has to basically not show up for work when his ex-wife decided to move to Miami without consulting him first. Yeah, he has visitation rights to his own daughter. Give his in Miami. So he goes to Miami. And, of course, Tony's upset and kind of sort of blackballs him in a way. And then, of course, he tries to start up his own security business in Miami. And he basically starts to get a loan, like any other person would when they start a business. And initially he's rejected by the president. And all of a sudden, like one of the managers, and then the president bank comes in and says, yeah, knock it off. And then, of course, we have a robot, basically, a Nazi robot, basically, helped out there. We see this woman. It's a mysterious woman. She does come back in the last days of Ant-Man one-shot, which is basically full of this. Yeah, she's there to set up that one-shot. That's the whole purpose of the character. And he sets up Ant-Man Security Solutions. And, of course, he basically gets his office open, and then he's attacked by the freaking Grizzly, a character created by Jerry Conn from the 70s, who actually was part of the original Clone Saga. Yes, the Grizzly. And he attacks them, all because what happened pages of Thunderbolts. He's like, you actually, I want revenge against you, and it turns out that he attacked the wrong Ant-Man. Yeah, it was Eric O'Grady. And he references what happened in the pages of Rick Remender's run for Secret Avengers, where he died and got turned into a robot. Yep. So he gets hired. And then, of course, not long after that, it's revealed that this guy named Austin Cross, who was the cousin of Darren Cross, yeah, cousin, even though that they claim to be nephew, yeah, aka Crossfire, an old enemy of Hawkeye, believe it or not, who one person thought he was a freaking Bullseye. As far as I know, Crossfire and Bullseye have never met. And what do these two want to do? Well, they want to kidnap Cassie Lang to resurrect Darren Cross, who's been dead since the first time Scott Lang became Ant-Man back in Marvel Premiere 47 to 48, which actually is not in this trade, surprisingly. I would have thought, though, that would be a good idea for the people who actually collect this trade to throw that in there. But nope. They did not throw it in there. They're actually that particular two-parter is collected in the Ant-Man Scott Lang trade, which collected a lot of his early appearances. Yeah, Scott Lang became Ant back in the 70s, mind you, and he was Ant-Man up until around 2000. I think it was like 2004. He was Ant-Man for like a long time, about 30 years per se, until he died. They represent here where he got killed by frickin' Jack of Hearts, who had brought back as a frickin' zombie. Though that was undone thanks to Marvel Zombie Supreme when he was resurrected in that mini series. So to rescue his daughter, and of course he had a fight with Taskmaster. He and Grizzly go to consult Machine Smith. Yes, an old enemy of Captain America and Daredevil, who is a frickin' robot. Yeah, and apparently he's going to hire a party, so they get hired and basically rescue his daughter. He beats the crap out of Darren Cross, gets his daughter back. Of course, his daughter gets a new heart anyways. And so his wife kind of reconciles with him, but not to get back into marriage and basically be on friendly terms with him. And of course, the thing ends quite nicely. Great set of issues. Stupid we had to have a relaunch. That was launched as a good series, Astonishing Ant-Man. We also have, believe it or not, the Beetle. Yes, the Beetle shows up in here. And she basically is a woman who actually later on in the Astonishing Ant-Man series actually sleeps with Scott Lang like twice over the course of the whole run. I give this book roughly a 9.5. This book is really good. The book had a slight problem. It was released a few years ago. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people call bullcrap and Marvel for this. The first issue of this ongoing series was $5. I get maybe a one-shot annual charge $5, but the first issue ongoing series. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was stupid. Really stupid and part of Marvel Comics to do. Along with the whole thing relaunching to 5 issues. But that's the only slight problem with this thing. It's a dumb price tag when the book came out. But great set of issues. Sad this series got canceled the following year when it got relaunched to Astonishing Ant-Man. And a very predictable cover ending. Next up, we have something released after that series. This is Old Man Logan, Volume 0. Yes, Volume 0. I also forgot, though, this book does have to be called Volume 1. There is no Volume 2 because it was launched as Astonishing Ant-Man. I'm not sure why they threw in the number 1 there in the first place. Yeah, despite the fact this is the only volume they released. There is a complete collection that collects the entire era of Astonishing Ant-Man, but this is only volume. And also, I do want to call on the thing for having a small little thing that should have been this trade. They should have thrown the annual in the last days of Ant-Man one-shot. They didn't. Nope, they never did. Though it is collecting the first trade before I looked up online. They do collect those 2 issues in the first trade for Astonishing Ant-Man. Okay. Let's see. We're back to Secret Wars with Old Man Logan. And this is confirmed. This is the same character who appeared in the Old Man Logan story arc from the Mark Millar run from Wolverine back in, I think it was 2000. I think it was like 2006. I think it was the one written by Mark Millar and arc by Steve McNiven. Same character. This book is done by Brian Michael Bendis. One of I think it was like 2 or 3 books he did for Secret Wars. This is only 5 issues. The arc here is done by Andrea Sorrentino. And when the book is relaunched as an ongoing series, this artist stays. Bendis goes off someplace else. Of course, the book is replaced by Jeff Lemire as the writer. Yeah, the whole thing with this one is that Logan is basically just doing his own thing, his own reality. And of course, he's on. He doesn't know anything about Battle World, doesn't know anything about the Wall, or even the Thors. Nope, he knows nothing about that at all. Until he comes across, he gets very curious at the fighting ahead of Ultron's heads in the Wastelands. Then he goes climbing up the wall in another issue, and he gets confronted by a Thor. Yes, this is possibly Beta Ray Bill, but the way it's designed looks like it's a female Beta Ray Bill. Yep, and then he's sent off, and he ends up in Age Apocalypse. Yes. He's there for like 1 issue, sent to another domain, and up in Techopolis from the Armor War series, and then he's sent to Marvel Zombies. Yeah, he said the Marvel Zombies area, which is basically a prison. That area is featured in Age of Ultron vs. Marvel Zombies and the Marvel Zombies miniseries. Then he ends up supposedly in 616, but it's not really there. And of course, he confronts Emperor every time. And then of course, and he ends. And the book miniseries ends with him ending up on the 616 Earth after Secret Wars. I believe the final issue was actually a slight delay toward the end of the run, but later on, the whole point of the ending was to set up the ongoing series that came right after this. And for a miniseries that ties in Secret Wars, for a lot of people do agree this is one of the best ones they did. This is a really, really good series. Because Bendis knows his stuff. As far as I can tell, not the first time he's written Wolverine I can think of because he wrote Wolverine in the pages of New Avengers. First time write a Wolverine book. Yeah, first one he ever did that I can think of. Because if you think of Bendis, you look at his entire record for Marvel Comics, he never wrote a single title with Wolverine as a title character, per se, the main character. He's very much part of a group in New Avengers, but not as a standalone character. Mm-hmm. But this is a great miniseries. I'm also giving this one a 9.5 out of 10. Really, really good. And I'm glad if I got another miniseries Secret Wars done. I don't know how many this makes me get a chance to check before. Well, also they have this whole thing where he's like, okay, you're forbidden to live in your domain, and of course, well, Wolverine is like, Logan's like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, which does confirm the fact, and Marvel has confirmed that the Logan shows up in this miniseries and is ongoing, same character from Mark Millar's Old Man Logan storyline. Yeah, it's the same exact character. So they did confirm that that's all the same character. So if I, let's say, bring this to Comic Con and have Mark Millar sign it, and I'll explain to him that Old Man Logan technically was his character. Well, this character, this version of Wolverine, was a character he helped create. He may or may not sign it per se. He probably would sign Old Man Logan original storyline per se, but not this. He may not sign it because he had nothing really much to do with this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not much else to say, but a really damn good miniseries. Both books are really good. Next review, more Wolverine on a group book. You'll find out what it is my next review, okay? Next comic corner. But in the case of reviews today, I think I got like maybe one more video coming today, and that just reviewed News Chapter 7 Doing Sins. Aside from that, that's really it. I don't think I'll get a chance to see more videos today. No, just one more video, okay? But this next video. Bye.